I was one of many progressives that spoke out against the Dakota Access Pipeline because it infringed on the territorial sovereignty of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, but also it threatened the water for millions of residents in the surrounding areas, including Standing Rock Sioux. So this was something that should not go through. It shouldn't have went through. However, it's now on a fast track to go through. And this is what I had to say about the Dakota Access Pipeline in December. I think that it's just common sense at this point that there's no such thing as a safe pipeline. And when it comes to Keystone or the Dakota Access Pipeline, it's not a matter of if they spill oil, it's a matter of when they inevitably spill oil. Now, I wasn't the only one to make this claim. There were many progressives that warned the world about the dangers of this pipeline, and unfortunately, we're already starting to be proven right. So The Hill explains South Dakota officials are looking into a small leak along the route of the Dakota Access Pipeline that spilled 84 gallons of oil. A pump connecting the pipeline to a crude oil storage tank in rural South Dakota leaked the oil sometime in April, Dakota Media Group reported Wednesday. The oil was captured by absorbent material at the site and put back into the pipeline, officials said. The state won't find the pipeline's operator because the spill was reported and properly cleaned up. A spokesperson for developer Energy Transfer Partners told Dakota Media Group that the malfunction occurred during the process of filling the pipeline with oil. That line fill process should be completed by June 1st, when the 1,170-mile pipeline is due to enter into service. The spill, which was limited to Energy Transfer Partners' workspace at the storage site, is a minuscule amount of oil compared to other spills. It's also the first spill associated with the Dakota Access in South Dakota, according to the report. Now look, we're all reasonable people here. It's not like this is a major spill, objectively speaking, but the problem is that this pipeline will be transporting nearly 5,000 gallons of crude oil every single day. And if it's already having problems as they're just putting the oil in it, imagine what's going to happen when it actually starts transporting the oil. And again, credit to the company in this instance because they did clean up the oil spill and they reported it. However, don't give them too much credit yet because this company has proven to be incredibly incompetent because this wasn't the only oil spill that we found out about this week. So the Federal Regulatory Agency Commission has curtailed work on a natural gas pipeline in Ohio after the owner, Energy Transfer Partners, reported 18 leaks and spilled more than 2 million gallons of drilling materials. The Ohio EPA has fined Energy Transfer Partners about $400,000 and asked the FERC for support. Greg Butler, the Ohio EPA director, said the company's response had been dismissive, exceptionally disappointing, and unlike any other response he has seen from a company in his 27 years at the agency. So we all need to understand what's happening here. The only reason why Energy Transfer Partners acted so diligently and did report the spill and clean it up immediately was because they know there's a lot of scrutiny and media attention now being paid to the pipeline. But when it comes to this other pipeline, which is the Rover pipeline, not many people are talking about that one. So they feel as though, we can actually we can be more negligent here and be incompetent like we actually are and not be as diligent here. So what we need to do now is make sure that the Rover pipeline also gets a lot of scrutiny. And look, I don't know how many times we have to say this, but it's not a matter of if, but when these pipelines burst. I said it in December, I've been saying it, and I'm not the only one to say it. I'm not copywriting that phrase. We're all saying it because it's just common sense. It's an indisputable claim. These pipelines spill all the time, and with a company as corrupt like Energy Transfer Partners, whose officials donated to the campaign of Donald Trump, they're doing everything to cover their ass. Now, I had some people reach out to me on Twitter saying, Mike, why are you even talking about this? Because the pipeline, the Dakota Access Pipeline, it's not even in service yet. Right, but don't you find it troubling that it's already spilling oil before it's in service? Doesn't that spell disaster for the future? Isn't this just, a small look at what's to come? How many oil spills, to what extent do we have to destroy the environment and poison the drinking water of American citizens before we realize that we have to move to renewable energy? We need a green revolution. So energy transfer partners, they've proven time and again that they're incompetent and they continuously spill oil. However, since they can buy politicians and buy officials in the states where they want to put up these pipelines, they get away scot-free. And it's incredibly disheartening to people that have been out there fighting for months, freezing their asses off, who faced brutality from militarized police, who were bitten and attacked by the dogs of armed mercenaries. I mean, this is an injustice. And the fact that it's spilling oil, I mean, we need to do everything we can to publicly shame this company, because we told them that this would happen. They assured us that this was the safest way to transport oil when we already have a million other pipelines you could use. So why would you need another one? Oh, that's right. It's because of the profit motive involved. Well, no, we're done. It's time that we start putting the planet over profits, because, for so long, since neoliberalism and trickle-down economics took over American society, we've been putting profits above people and planet, and that's no longer acceptable. It's a position that is no longer acceptable. So this company must be shamed.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.